Alright, and we are finally back after a long while. We're opening the microphone again. And I've decided to return with Planetfall for now. I want to do some stuff with the OW4, especially now that we have the Archons DLC just launched. And yeah, but for now, should really start a new campaign. I actually want to sink my teeth into the lore of this game here. So let's start a new campaign. Includes tutorial, yeah. I want to play tutorial.
The currents of the void shift around me. Follow my voice, my last possession.
Possession.
My name was Empress Carmenia, and I was the last regent of the Star Union. We built a paradise on 1,000 planets, a glistening web strung between the stars. But the cataclysm shattered all, leaving our people stranded and alien to one another. Whoever you are, whatever you have become, it is time to leave this dark age behind and return to the worlds of your ancestors. Uncover our secrets, but heed our mistakes. Forge a new empire, a new age of wonders.
Alright, so I have a few unlocked worlds here. Not many. never really plunged into the campaign. Played a little bit of this. This is one of the reasons that I'm coming back to the channel. I actually have a few projects going on now. And one of them is to try and play intently. Challenge level low, no, that's not gonna work. At least medium, right? Hero resurgence always. Never. No, let's put never. Let's try to make this a little more dramatic. So, Dolos Minerva. A research colony has gone dark. The Vanguard will launch a dire rescue mission. So probably, we go in order here, I think. Let's start Dolos Minerva. It has no difficulty anyway. So basically we're playing the Vanguard. Rough folk with few ties to society, so the effects of long interstellar travel and cryosleep resulting time dilation doesn't matter to them. This is very relative, I'd say. I think that you wouldn't have close ties to society because you're in cryo, not the other way around. But I think that the game actually drops some interesting hints about some interesting sci-fi structure behind it. Starting bonus, starting army units have +1 rank, so always +1 rank. Long-term bonus, the same. Firearms and lasers, deploy combat drones and turrets, use of propaganda and military force. That's an important point for two reasons. So they would be thinking about it, the way that the faction is conceived from a sci-fi writing standpoint. I believe that it would make it easier for them to enter certain worlds, especially those that are inhabited, or when it would make it easier for them to meet other factions and to have people come to them and basically enlist and work for the Vanguard. Basically, that's it. And they actually mentioned that one as snippet, that the Vanguard actually needs to consolidate its own structure by through propaganda. Deploy combat drones and turrets. Okay, that's basically advanced war tactics. Use propaganda. Okay, powerful ranged units, weak melee capability. Sorry, and they have void tech. Warps the laws of physics, allowing the manipulation and teleportation of matter and energy. Starting unit Echo Walker. Command highly mobile units that can teleport and pass through obstacles, create temporal clones of units, destabilize and decelerate enemies. Uses the arc and kinetic damage channels. Okay. What weapons do we have? Vanguard assault equipment. Ranged specialist. Increases damage dealt when using ranged weapons. Steadying. Increases your accuracy when behind cover. Okay. Basically, these guys are the shooters. So we lose 2 perks here. We get 2. Military detachment. Strong military force is always a good idea, so you were sure to recruit extra soldiers to join you on your expedition. So basically we have arc and kinetic damage, through void tech, and we have laser and firearms here. So white damage and fire. Burning damage. So let's start the mission.
Personal record. Vanguard LCVP-86 emerged from void space intact. Our destination is a small planet located near to the anomaly in the system. Scans are showing nothing but static from the research outpost below. The distress call we received remains the only sign of life.
Already like the voice acting here.
The void anomaly looms over the planet like a dark omen. These scientists must have been mad to study the phenomenon from this close. But it's not for me to question their motives. We're here to secure a foothold, search for any survivors, and investigate what happened. Prepare for Planetfall.
Alright, onwards. So tiny, Pangea, barely any water, basically land. Search for survivors and find out what happened. So the first thing, the bridge and the back panel, I like how they combine here. I like the colors, I like the way that they convey that something odd is happening. Basically, odds are that the scientists are dead, were long dead, because they are actually awakening from cryo sleep into a world where their empire no longer exists. So the Star Union is gone, so probably that's just because the station was abandoned and the positions shifted here. So yeah, there's another thing that I find interesting. They actually got into that Star Trek spirit, you know. And it's actually a mishmash of things, the lore for this game. So you can see mechs, you can see soldiers. So I see a lot of battle tech, I see a lot of a Dune, ton of space opera stories, you know.
Welcome, Commander. I am Ava, your autonomous integrated virtual assistant. Standard issue for every planetary governor of the Star Union. My messages will appear when important actions are undertaken for the first time. They can be reviewed at any time in the Imperial Archives.
Cool, you have the Imperial Archives. The icon and color will assist you in early decisions by recommending certain choices to direct development of Star Union. This is why I actually wanted to use the tutorial, because it's voiced. I want to enjoy the voice, the voiceover that they do for the texts. I like the acting in these things, you know, in these passages, these excerpts. Yeah, the Imperial Archives, I guess they kind of lose part of the charm that we have for the books on Age of Wonders 3 and a little bit on 4, but 4 is actually more menu. But I kind of understand the inclination here, especially with these dashes. It's kind of like you were accessing some sort of a digital interface to get info. These archives contain knowledge concerning all aspects of Age of Wonders Planetfall, its rules, its glorious locations, its diverse inhabitants. It is a guide on how to build a planet spanning an empire, and how to lead it to victory. Cool. Bookmarks, okay. Search, and links, okay. So we have all kinds of info that we need in here. We're going to be consulting this a lot. Okay, so the way we pan the camera, this is kind of needless, really. Planetfall successful, Commander. Powering up base colony systems. Good. There's no time to waste. We'll start by setting up and expanding this colony. Start a surface scan for survivors, and existing colony infrastructure. Inform me when our research systems are online. Okay. Yes, Commander. Recalibrating sensors and initiating surface scan. A biodome has been located nearby, but there are no signs of survivors. Continue scanning the planet's surface. If there are any survivors on this world, I want to know about it. I'll scout the adjacent sectors and investigate the biodome. It should contain supplies that will help us expand our colony. So I kind of wonder, because, okay, let's start thinking about lore and how the map is organized and how things work. They cannot locate survivors, so, but I mean, we are aware that there are several living creatures in the map. Even Lieutenant Jiang is here. So they don't locate her in her scanners, at very least not at first. So I actually wonder, how do they locate? Do they do this by reading some sort of a biological signal, or I don't know. You know, they have Sci-tech, so they could have been reading I don't know, psychic signatures or something. Who knows? Oh, and that's also some sort of Warhammer 40k taste to the thing, you know? Okay, select your army and explore the nearby sector. Locate and investigate overgrown biodome. Hint, you can see your progress in your currently active quests and objectives interface. Objectives: explore the nearby sector, take control of the overgrown biodome. Okay, so let's. I do get 77 research and 50 food. So this is the thing, you know?
This is an army. Armies contain up to 6 units on a single hex and are used to explore the world, attack enemy armies, and defend colonies.
I love the intonation that she uses, you know? It's kind of like it remembers, it reminds me a little bit of Data from Star Trek. And of course, it's kind of like a trend that you actually give an intonation, but you break it in parts so you can make this more artificial in a sense. It's a very good job, and the effect also helps.
To move an army, select it, and then move the cursor to the hex you want it to go to. A preview of the route is shown, with a blue path to indicate how far the army can move this turn.
Move point cost, okay. I've seen, I was watching Das Tactic play AOW4. I saw that he actually keeps the hexes on. Should be a way to do this on the map. Event log and turn, well, not here, but probably in the options. But let me see. I think that he does that so he can count how many turns he will take to move his troops from one side to another. I actually prefer to count it on my own, you know. World UI. Play movement animation, skip turn. Okay, show hex grid, for example, here. Yeah, I actually don't like the effect that this does deliver, in a sense. Although it makes for a better strategic planning, you know. Okay, let's just send the troops forth. I can actually take a look at the interface here.
Units that lead your armies. Commander, you are also represented as a hero on the map.
Okay, let's take a look. Heroes. Let's see what the Imperial Archives tell us about this. Heroes like your commander are talented individuals with the possibility to specialize and buff your armies. And there are a great number of available hero upgrades they have to choose from when they level up, makes them a very important type of unit. These are also the only units that can equip hero equipment, which includes different weapons and vehicles. They can completely change their abilities and which mods these units can use. These are kept in the arsenal, and if a hero owns a particular piece of equipment they no longer need, they can sell it. New heroes will come to you as the game progresses and will offer their service for small energy payment. Unlike normal units, they don't have an upkeep cost. Let's check the arsenal. The arsenal is a global space where your commander and heroes can equip and swap hero equipment. Loot picked up on in the strategic map will automatically be transported to the arsenal. Unwanted equipment in your arsenal may be sold by 70% of the item managed cost. Cosmite is not refunded. There's another thing that I find cool here is that you're actually placing your currency as energy. You know, that's an interesting sci-fi convention. Think it appears a lot in games. probably for practical reasons, you know. But basically, it's kind of like gold in fantasy medieval AOW. So it doesn't really differ that much, I think, as far as the calculations go. But it is an interesting idea, since a society that actually has such high tech would need tons of energy. So it makes a lot of sense. Of course, throughout the game, you actually get to see some of these energy sources that you kind of recover as far as they become like provincial. How do they call it? Features, I think. We're gonna see this soon enough. I love the music for this game, man. Okay, I'm always impressed about the work that they've been doing.
This is the unit panel, where all the information on a unit can be viewed, including their active and passive abilities in the list on the left side.
All right.
Units can have different roles in combat.
So car skirmisher, specialist, elite, and we have all this. Okay, so basically, this is the panel that will tell us about the unit attributes and so on. The amount of life that they have, the HPs, shields, armor, move points, and in here the attacks and resistances. What aspects actually make the unit be what? This little snippet here, I find it very interesting. In this particular case, they actually say that they have these fragments, in this case, of biker gangs delivered to them as I don't know, through history books or some sort of videos or documentaries or whatever, you know, or shows. And they actually, what actually catches their eye in this is the amount of freedom that these guys had. They do not they overlook several other aspects of the life on the road, and they say that these guys were inspired by them in a sense, you know. So it's kind of peculiar, really. I think it maybe works for the justification of why you would have something so vulnerable in such a warlike scenario, you know. And but it sort of makes sense at the same time, you know, for mobility and speed, since they are scouting units. So the Vanguard Trooper. So in here they actually mention how they structure their front lines in this snippet. Technology exists to automate the Vanguard Trooper's job, but how do you inspire a populace with no skin in the game? So that's the point, you know. They say that the odds are that he would take ex-criminals, but that they understand that the people will fight tooth and nail to protect places that they love and for a cause. So they actually use a lot of propaganda to hire these guys, to enlist these guys. They have basically this white damage, this white physical damage to their weapons. Overwatch, that's a characteristic of the Vanguard that they personally love, and the rest of it, infantry, etc., etc., etc. Okay, so let's go do this. All right.
The task notifier shows actions available during the current turn, as well as urgent matters that require attention.
I don't think that it would need such
This is
an
the
elaborate
colony interface.
explanation.
It allows you to inspect and control your settlements on this planet. The tabs at the top left cycle through the production and colonist options. Under this colony's name, you can see the amount of each resource this colony generates. A description and a breakdown of the colony's income can be found in the tooltips of each resource. The currently selected colony tab is Unit Production. All units available for construction are listed here.
Yeah, Cosmite. Cosmite is our high-level resource. A rare material originates beyond the void. It's required advanced units and unit models. So basically, it's kind of has this weird multi-dimensional nature apparently, as far as I understand it. So we could actually produce some soldier here, but
This
I'm
is the
not gonna do
Structure
this.
Production tab. Colony structures can be built from here to unlock new units, strengthen the economy, and bolster the colony's defenses.
So yeah, she's actually recommending that we build a central replicator factory. Miniature factory that increases production, allowing the colony to produce structures and units more quickly. So I would go for this, to be quite honest. I tend to play these games in strategic aspects by trying to increase the
Units and
production at
structures can be
first.
built in a colony by selecting the Produce option, which places them in the production queue.
Alright.
When all suggested actions from the task notifier above the minimap have been handled, the option will automatically change to End Turn.
This is something funny. I don't actually know if these kinds of tutorials actually help people enter bring their attention. It actually brings attention of new players to the
The
genre. That's what I
Objectives
mean.
interface gives an overview of
Because
available objectives.
it's just such a common
Quests can come
convention
from
nowadays.
NPC factions or from special sources during the campaign.
But then again, the games that I play the most are like this, So I've been playing the AOW uh, series for now, and I always played Master of Orion, Master of Magic, games like this. So these are very regular conventions. Civilization, come online, research now available. You can begin searching technologies and unlock new deployments now. Okay. Excellent. What do you suggest we start with considering our mission parameters? Military research, it's recommended to start with nanite support to provide their troops with extra protection and unlock battlefield support operations. For society research, it's recommended to start with frontier facilities to unlock basic infrastructure upgrades of our colony. I have highlighted these skills in the research interface for your convenience. So
Welcome to the research center,
there's another thing
Commander.
here.
Here we allocate knowledge to rediscover the technologies of the Star Union and search for new frontiers.
Okay.
Military research concerns unit unlocks, unit mods, and military operations.
All right. So basically, she recommends nanite support. I'm gonna go straight through it and leave the other branches to future playthroughs. So I don't actually exhaust everything here, just reading and reading and reading. Although that's what I like to do. I like to sit, read it, just my own pace. And since I'm recording, basically this will give us nanite injectors, nanite support station, and a combat assist system. This is basically a tactical operation that we can use. So 2 tactical operations and 1 mod. Right? Research. We gotta go to society.
Society research concerns economic development, governmental policies, and espionage.
So this is interesting. Doctrine research and governmental policies to steer your empire. Economy research focuses on the development of your colonies, and operations research increases operation effectiveness and unlocks covered operations. Think about this. We do have we do have 3 layers for this, and I kind of understand that lots of games do this. Like Civ 6 did this. You had a civics tree and a technology tree. We have military and society there. There's what is called Fallen Enchantress, which is basically a tactical RPG. I'd call it more a tactical RPG that does the same thing. But the thing is that every game that actually puts it into them associates this with the idea that society is no longer, or was never, developed to begin with. So you actually have to research everything, you actually have to explore everything, and you have to learn the principles of everything so you can actually insert that into your world. And this is what is happening here. For example, you have food development, research development. This is actually tech that you would use to produce more stuff. Operations, of course, are military, but you can see that you have lots of infrastructure elements here that would allow you to build further. There's no political branch in this. In Fallen Enchantress is the same. Civ, however, twists that premise. Oh, okay. We have one here. Dawn of a New Union, for example. Uh, Planetary Unification Protocol. So basically, this is insane. You're actually talking about politics and how to regulate people, and you have a protocol to follow. You know, this is basically hardcore bureaucracy or hardcore military procedures. I find the idea very interesting that you would implement a protocol, awaken the planet core node. Oh, you see, because everything is kind of technocratic in this world. At the very least, even the remnants actually express this idea. You know, I love what the Lord builds up in how the Lord builds up in here. Unification efforts. Instead of using force to conquer this planet, we will use your influence in alliances to come out on top. Relation gains for completing quests increased by 50%, and you get a plus 100 increase to your reputation. And what's this? Hero Resurrection Protocol. Resurrect a fallen hero by a process of genetic manipulation and regenerative medicine. So yeah, this is a very weird mix of elements. And I gotta say, the way that they did this, I feel like it kind of works. We're gonna have to see this as we play along. Colony infrastructure, residential development, residential sectors. So basically, you're mixing urbanism, you're mixing it up with technology, you're working urban resilience, you're working governmental structures, you're working effective bureaucracy, and of course you're working with the dormant AI of the Star Union. Okay, let's go for frontier facilities. Recreational dome. This is so social engineering right now. Look at this. You get a recreational dome, you get 2 happiness slots and plus 6 happiness income. So you can get more happiness events in your colony. Upgrades the colony militia army to include more powerful units. Yeah, this is basically soldiering. So yeah, okay, let's research this. Wonderful. So I'm actually getting the vibe of this game now. You know, I love the models as well. If we actually take our time to take a look at the city, you know. Actually, I would actually imagine that they have a lot of prefab blocks here that they use to build this thing. Um, He also did this right in the middle of a jungle here, you know, forests and fungal terrain. This purplish color here, it's fungal basically, like this fungal shrubland. So you can actually have shrublands and forests and plains and whatever, and you pluck fungal on it. There's a crater there. It means nothing basically in terms of gameplay, I guess. Fungal barren. You have barren. You also have ocean, of course. These are considered ocean as well. This one is considered fungal shrubland. Very cool. How would you read this one? Fungal mountains. You see? Fungal wetland, fungal barren. So you have wetlands, shrublands, plains, forests, seas, mountains, and then you apply these little aspects to it. Very standard, but also very creative. And the colors also remind me a lot of uh, Alpha Centauri. It's a game that I desperately need to play, to be quite honest. Okay, so in here we have the enemies. Love how they design these things. So the surrender of Sandrew Valley, they actually tell the story of a hopper hound that was found there and leapt to bring bring down a soldier. Or no, this is the hunter. This is not the eviscerator brings down the soldier. These guys were hunting the farmers. So they have also white damage here. They have physical damage, claw strike, air leap, combat jump. It's actually very well characterized. And we have the space pigs here, which is basically the mega beetle baby that was taken to like push carts and do stuff like that. And they basically saw these little pincers, so they want to bite. And there's this desperate academic, it's desperate science saying that they still spit the venom, they still explode as they die, and so on. And they also have this biohazardous damage, poison damage, biochemical damage. Okay, so let's see. I still need to order you around, so let's go do this. Colony production facilities are currently idle, Commander. Recommend we start with building a central replicator facility to increase production. Okay, show structures. So yeah, I already did it, so there's no problem. Let's just accept this.
All rival commanders and native NPC factions you encounter on the planet are listed in the diplomacy interface, along with faction information and their relation towards you.
That's an interesting thing. I love the images for the Vanguard. This is basically pure propaganda. So the characteristics are here again. Vanguard's the model for Vanguard cities. Okay. Shall we? There are no survivors here. It looks like the structure was overrun by critters. We must reclaim this biodome and annex its sector to our colony. This will expand our domain and increase our supplies. We do not have enough colonists to control additional sectors yet, Commander. We will need additional food to allow the colony to grow. Larger colonies can sustain more province sectors. I want to establish our foothold here as quickly as possible. We can recover extra food from the overgrown biodome and after we clear out the wildlife. Okay. True. Let's go. So true. So yeah, I really don't have experience on recording these things. I have recorded sometimes, a few times, but I really don't have the experience. So I don't know if this is adequate or not. But honestly,
Commander. The defending army always gets to act first, followed by the attackers.
I'd rather take it slow than rush.
Each unit has 3 action points to spend on using their abilities, which can cost between 1 and 3 action points.
Okay.
Commanders and
This I will
heroes
leap.
are some of the strongest units in any army, capable of wielding a variety of powerful weapons and even piloting vehicles. They level up as they gain experience, allowing them to unlock new abilities and buffs.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, I love the scenario to begin with. Look at this. So we have, I don't know what everything is in here. What's this? They just put as obstacle, right? Yeah. Blocks line of sight. So yeah. This is also obstacle. I think it's water inside, I don't know. Is it? No, it's not. It's just the cover, really. So there are several things that I don't know really what they do here. I don't know if they are just detectors or communication stations or whatever. But we do have tractors like this one. We do have some alien fungi because of the territory. Look at the forest in the back, man. This reminds me a little bit of Haven Colony. It has this kind of like a weird plant-like thing. There is it me? Yeah, there are several spores in the air. Look at this. And then the models for the enemies also. Greatly, lovely done. The biodomes, I actually like them as well. Love what they did here. And there are some crops that are inside the biodomes and some that are outside, right? Yeah. Look at this. So some stuff is outside, some stuff's inside. I don't know if it's not to be contaminated by these polyps, these spores that are in the air, or if they don't do well in this atmosphere. But in here we have some sort of, I think those are fungi as well, and we have some sort of a short flora as well. Then we have these tanks. I assume this is some sort of a, it's flammable, I guess. It's at the very least it states there's danger. I don't know. Maybe some sort of a gas, I don't know. And here we have water tanks. Like 2 water tanks. Are these water tanks as well? I wonder what happens if we... I never really shot these things. Wonder what happens if we shoot one of the water tanks. I don't know. Anyway,
Each
let's...
unit has active abilities that they can use during combat. Next to attacks, they have a guard ability, which increases the unit's defenses until the start of their next turn.
Okay.
Guard abilities always cost 1 action point. Try
Yeah.
moving your units forward to form a gun line, Commander. There are several nearby obstacles that your Vanguard troopers can take cover behind, symbolized by shield icon when hovering over the hex.
Okay, so thank you. Love the models for these units. Let me see here. Okay, so what do we have here? Tall growth, lightly obscured. Tall growth. Okay, this. Okay, let me just see. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, those are the movement zones. So I don't really want them to reach me right away. So I'm gonna find cover.
A friendly unit has moved into cover.
Okay. I actually should take a look at the rules on the rules of cover. But I'm gonna move these guys here, and I'm gonna literally form a line beyond their reach. You know, that's my idea, my initial idea, to form the line and try to overwatch everyone, and use the advantage that these troops actually give me. And I'm gonna send this guy here so I can flank the enemy. He won't be able to shoot. I need like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hexes so he can shoot. So this is not gonna work. But anyway, I'm gonna put this guy on defense mode so you overwatch.
Some units with ranged attacks can enter Overwatch.
Okay, thank you. Overwatch 2. Overwatch 2. This Overwatch ability actually reminds me of XCOM. It's a game that I love. You know, that game series I actually love. It's one of my favorites of all time. And of course, there are several differences between one game and the other. Yeah, you're basically trying to bring me out, aren't you? So I need to move 1, 2, 3, 4 at least. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna move you here, right? And no, I need to move one more. At least I can move one more without losing my turn.
Most abilities that are used on enemy units have an accuracy rating, which is the chance that the ability hits the intended target.
Okay. Yeah, that's the point. Accuracy is something that I need to study. An attack will always have a graze chance up to 25%. This applies to all attacks that have a less than 100% chance to hit. Any percentage from 99% to 75% will have a graze chance of 1% to 25%, respectively. Below 75% hit chance, the attack will start to have a chance to instead miss completely. Very simple. The table below has examples. Okay, so 90%, 9%, 10 graze, 75, 25 graze, 40, 25 graze, and 35 miss. So basically, you go down to 75%, and every point that you lose becomes a graze point. Below 75, every point you get stuck with 25 graze, and every extra percentage point will become a percentage point for missing. It's okay. Yeah, very clear. Yeah, I didn't really... It's fine. It's no problem. So... The thing is that this bike is there to actually provoke these guys into attacking. Although I do think that the little insectoid pigs will shoot from afar, and this guy's gonna take some damage that he shouldn't take, because they are not entering the area. Yeah, I actually should have moved someone to the front to get them inside an Overwatch area. You know, could have moved these guys here.
Enemy eliminated.
Yeah. I was watching that tactic, and basically this game is actually okay. So I have 30%, so that means I have 55% chance of getting the shot, 30 directly, 25 for grazing, and I have like 45% chance to miss. So it would be way more advisable that I actually move the guy to the front. Or at least these 2 steps. Yeah, it's a lot better, I'd say. He grazed. But I was watching the S tactic, and it actually mentions one of these lovely ideas. It says the way to learn to play AOW4, and
Enemy down.
wow,
They never stood a chance.
as a consequence, this game here is to actually repeat the battles over and over and over again to learn. I'm not gonna repeat this one because I already know what I did wrong, so there's no need. Commander, our colony has not now grown big enough to support an additional sector. What a coincidence, Ava. I recommend annexing the sector which contains the biodome, as this will add its food income to our colony. Okay, good. We'll annex this sector to our colony as a province sector so we can start exploiting the land for resources as soon as possible. It's very... I think they are banking on the fact that not everyone is going to read every single line of this tutorial, because there's a lot of redundancy here. Okay. Expand colony. And get some energy. Fungal lab exploit province sector. Okay, let's go do this.
Completed.
Yeah, alright. Got some research as well. Orders required. Yeah, I'm gonna move you north. Do I have how many? How far can you go? The bike's a little banged up, and that's that. Alright. You have 2. What's that? I prefer the way that they... I don't know if they... The map in AOW4 actually shows some sort of outline of the things that you might find, you know, in the distance, which I find very charming, by the way. This one, I don't think it does that. Yeah, I don't think it does. It's a shame, but fine, okay. Okay, let's annex the sector then. Adjacent sector annexes colonies. Sector can be developed here. Let me just check one thing here real quick. Be annexed, colony expansion. Sectors can be annexed to a colony. Adjacent to another sector, okay. No, I thought it would talk about cost and stuff like that. But no. Okay, give me that.
Planets are divided into geographical sectors that contain natural resources or valuable remnants of the Star Union. Sectors can be settled with colonizers or annexed as provinces to existing colonies by interacting with the central sector map marker.
Okay.
Sectors usually have both a climb and a terrain feature that determine their economic potential.
Alright. Resource nodes, visit site hazards. Yeah, this is it. Resource nodes, visit sites. Tell me about visit sites. Location strategic map can be found in any sector. Visit site gives a buff. Yeah. Basically, it's kind of like those huts that appear in Age of Wonders or Heroes of Might and Magic.
Colony centers. This turns them into province sectors that add income to their parent colony once they are further developed.
Okay, so basically what I have so far, let me check the numbers. I have a +10 here. It's fungal, so +1 level. It gets +1 level if anything, for anything that I put in here that involves research and food, and the fertile plains do the same. But I have to put something to get that bonus, apparently. So let me just check what do we have in Quentin. So Quentin is +17 food, +75 energy, +85 production, +5 cosmite. It's not going to grow, of course. +4 happiness, +30 knowledge. I actually scored some in here. I actually got 44 knowledge, is that it? And population 4 and +5 influence. Okay. Okay, so let's just focus on the +17 and +30. Let's see what happens when I annex this place. Let's go. So annex. It's gonna take a turn, I think. I'm picking up a Vanguard military signal nearby. This could signify the presence of survivors on the planet. Aha. So that's it. So she actually got a military signal. She's not scanning people. She's not scanning bodies. She's scanning communication arrays, communication waves, or something like that. Bring over scanners. Let's find out what the hell is going on there. Okay. Okay, the Vanguard military signal. Yeah. I think it's, if I recall correctly, the story says that Jiang is there, and she's actually emitting a
Just annexed the
distress
sector,
signal.
and it can now be exploited for one of the main resources. Ideally, the chosen exploitation type matches the terrain and climb features of the sector for future leveling potential.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Let me see now. It's been successfully annexed to our colony and is now considered a province sector. It cannot be exploited for additional resources. What do you think, man? I love this. Is very elegant, analyzing climate, fungal, terrain, fertile plains, resource node, biodome, processing analysis, recommendation, agriculture exploitation. Agriculture exploitation was synergized with both the climate and terrain, allowing the sector to reach its full potential through researching. Yeah, you don't need to be a genius. You have a biodome broken in there. The biodome will also synergize with an agriculture exploitation. No, really, providing an additional bonus to food income. Yeah, that's the main point, you know. We already knew that that's
The
going to
sector
happen.
production tab lists the structures that can be built in any of the province sectors of the colony.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, she actually mentions this. As promised, level 3, level 3. Okay. Let me just... yeah, this is plus 25, plus 30. Yeah, as we foresaw. This is not... If you actually have... You actually need to build up something to have the advantages that the place gives. Alright, so that's fine. And it's also cool that they have by the center of it a little building, little boxes. That's really cool. Let's see if it actually changes the model there as well.
Objective completed.
Okay, establish colony. Take reward. Okay.
Quantum-powered molecular machines are not magic, they're science. But the uncertainty principle dictates that if I explain to you exactly how it works, it'll stop working that way. So just trust me, it's not magic, it's just probabilistic, quantum state-driven subatomic machines. Stanley Strangelove, publicist, Smalltech Enterprises.
Yeah. I wish I could use that argument in my own research. Look, if I explain to you how I did it and how it works, it will stop working. So just trust me. It works. Yeah. Bite me.
Our colonies require the means to protect themselves and a reason to stay. At the very least, it's time to invest in some good old-fashioned guns and beer. Dollar Smith, Deneb Colony Mayor.
This guy actually got into the interpretation of this line, man. He actually celebrates the idea of having guns and beer. You see, the voice acting for the game is fantastic, fantastic. I'd say, you know, and it actually does wonders to immersion here. I don't know, people don't. I think most people wouldn't feel immersed in a game like this. I do, man. It's a party going on for me. Lieutenant Zhang, what the hell are you doing on this rock? Last I heard you were stationed on Leave 6. Commander Jack Gelder, I require immediate assistance. Our settlement is overrun with hopper rounds and we need help fighting them off. We're sending you blueprints for some weapon modifications. Let's burn these bugs down. Okay. Received, Lieutenant. We'll make quick work of these bugs. So it kind of has something like Starship Troopers is all going on here because it's basically bugs, bugs, bugs. So, okay. Commander, before engaging in battle, we should mod our units to make them more combat effective. Spec in the panel. Okay, so now I have 2 units because I can actually take control of Jung as well. With mods, Lieutenant Jung gave us troops for our campus commander. Please bear in mind that, well, the process is immediate on your weapons. Modifying our troops leaves them vulnerable for a single side. Yeah, the bugs aren't going anywhere. Okay. Dayu Jung. Defeat the hop around threat. Okay, so defeat the hop arounds. Alright, cool. So let's mod our things here. Let's start with the guy.
To improve your units later in the game and allow you to adapt your arsenal to ever-evolving threats.
So I want an ignition module for you. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Ignition module. Confirm loadout. The bike. I'm gonna put the ignition module. I'm not gonna put everything on everyone because if I do so, I won't have Cosmite for everyone. So let's experiment with mods. Okay, confirm. Oh, let's close the window here. All right, so we're gonna get 2. We have flechettes because they don't have lasers. They can't really use the ignite mod, but they can use flechettes. Yeah, but the shape of it, well, really cruel. Okay, this is a cruel little thing, right? Okay, so let's put flechettes here. Stinging. Let's build 2 stinging units. Nanite. No nanites. Unequip. Okay, unequip. I want to put ammunition flechette again. Now these last 2 we're going to put nanites on them. So nanite injectors. That makes for steam fueled. Okay, so we get some other. We get another look at the nature of this thing. Basically, this thing, the nanite injectors, they are like stimulants to these guys. Yeah, resistance to all damage channels by 3. Wow, it's kind of like some sort of a drug, but it's not chemicals. It's nanite induced. I wonder if you would have any sort of a downside to use these things on your body, you know? Now it makes me curious when they use the idea of stim pack to name for the naming convention of this thing. Oh man, I love Jiang's sniper rifle. I love the idea of having a sniper on the field. Yeah, you get flechettes. You're gonna cut these guys through. The engineers. I love this idea as well. This snippet is so interesting. It helps so much in immersion. So I'm gonna give you flechettes and I'm gonna give you injectors as well. Okay, I'm gonna give you both of them. Alright, so you get to become the butchers. Alright. They actually say that because they are the guys that have the talent to fix things on the ship and work around all sorts of softwares and stuff like that. They are the guys that stay the most awake out of cryo, so they grow old a lot faster than the rest of the crew. And they say, oh, the Valkyries were basically our seniors when we boarded up, but by the end of the trip we were their seniors by like 10-20 years, by a large margin. So we actually grew old as we traveled, but they didn't. I mean, imagine the impact that something like that has on someone's psyche, man. That should be insane, you know. I mean, just this cryo thing. There are several implications that I would love to discuss. By the way, I've actually been thinking a lot since I got my hands on this game again. Been thinking a lot about it. Imagine how these guys actually relate to each other, how they actually know each other, and how they could be from entirely different time frames and periods within the Star Union. Just because, I don't know, centuries could pass and these guys were just frozen, and they just meet soldiers that were unfrozen, that were frozen and unfrozen in the same areas or in the same planets. And now they're talking to each other, and they can't have ties to society anyway. So I actually keep imagining that, because there are several aspects that should be done around these guys. I mean, They actually some ties. They would have to have some ties if they get recruited at some point. So everyone they love dies. It's a very dire prospect, you know. They for anyone to just offer themselves to go, you know, parents, siblings, lovers, children, even children, they would die long before you would maybe wake up for your first mission. So it's kind of weird, you know. All of a sudden you actually, or you actually go and then you spend months or years in cryo, and then you wake up in this planet, on this planet, and do your job, and 3 or 4 planets later you receive the news that your son died out of old age, you know. Or you don't even say, or maybe you don't even tell the guys that happened, because that gives them the awareness of the weight of the the choices that they made. The leaf planets are another thing. I think the second map is a leaf planet, and that's another problem entirely, because imagine you actually have to have you actually have to have these planets that are completely detached from society and are basically there to make these guys happy, as a place of enjoyment for these people. And in those places are better not remember these guys of what they left behind, because they would regret it. Imagine what would happen if some of these guys actually decided to grow into a mutiny in a ship and take over and go back, man. You know, of course, you would have the entire power of the Star Union behind any government or behind any lord or behind any one of those star holders to defend the area. But imagine what would happen. These guys have access to tremendous technology, you know. Or if they decide to establish a colony for themselves and they decide to say, screw this, I'm not gonna obey anymore, and I'm not gonna sell my life to these guys anymore, you know. It's a very those are very interesting aspects that they are pulling up in the end here. Okay, I need new research here: subjugation ordnance, laser, heavy laser applications, nanite support. Okay, these three, I think why are they green? I think I have the three of them. Or the block just shut. Smart defense modules. Okay, let's study this a little bit. I can get a defense mod that will make them 15% harder to hit. Gains detection. What does detection do? Can I don't think I can hover this. Yeah, I can't hover this over there. Clicking doesn't help as well. +1 armor and interlocking armor. Another defense mod resistant to resistance to physical damage. Additionally, mod grants +1 armor. Okay. Photon acceleration. These units' laser weapons gain extra level with stagger impact. Additionally, mods gain +1 shield. Photonic countermeasures. Fire a blinding laser beam dealing 10 burning damage in 1 hex radius. All enemy units. What? All enemy units. Hit by this ability, 12 strength chance to be blinded. Yeah, but I have less lasers. I have lasers on the bikes and I have lasers on my heroes. One of them, anyway. Ammunition electrified. Allows the unit to fire electrified ammunition to deal arc damage. 12 instead of 8. Repeating attacks, inflicting electrified non-ethereal units for 3 turns. Only one kind of ammunition can be active at any time. Yeah, so then I had to trade in the mods that I've put to put these ones. And the rail accelerators, advanced accelerators, put in weapons, stabilize the shot. This one's cool. Yeah, I would go either smart defense or this one. Let me see, because I kind of want to produce more engineers. I like the units. They actually can put turrets down. I want to test if they can put turrets. If I put the new kinds of ammo, do the turret actually absorb it as well? Does it use it as well? Shotgun. Alright, let's get shotguns. Uh-huh. Alright. So, or I can go phase manipulation, and then this void tech. Phase walk manipulator. It gains phase field. So right in front of the unit. Is able to walk through obstacles 50% harder to hit in combat. Additionally, this mod grants +1 shield. And phase manipulation. Reactive phase protection. Each time the unit takes damage, it's teleported to a random hex. This is annoying. Yeah, I don't know. I'm tempted to go Void Tech just to see how it works. I don't think I'm gonna have too much time on the map to reach the last. I think maybe if I finish this quest, the map is over. I don't remember. I know it's short, and it's very short. Okay, so now let me move my guys here. I still need one turn to let the mods set. Let the mod settle down. In here, frontier facilities, so we can have production development, aquatic development, area surveillance. Those areas, yeah, aquatic development. You can build the bases on water and stuff like that, interwater. Monitoring station appears in target hex. The station provides deploying player division of 6 hexes and sensor coverage for 12. The station is concealed. Oh, sorry. And can only be detected by other players. By other players, what? With detection or if they move adjacent to it. Oh, I see. So the detection that I get could use in military development could get better stuff for me in here. Okay. Against this, basically. Or if this move adjacent to it, monitoring stations are not marked as belonging to a particular player and can be destroyed by other players without triggering war. Yeah, makes sense. I have something watching me. Shouldn't I be able to destroy it? I guess I should. Okay. Threat locator reveals location of the nearest and explore the hostile spawner. And capability ranking unlocks capability rankings shown in the Empire tasks interface, allowing you to see how your Empire compares to that of other players. Oh, so I actually have to unlock that. Capability is visible for your Empire and its allies. See ranks of other players. You must infiltrate operations. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna go with area surveillance. Let's just check what happens. Could go food development as well, or research development. These two. No, maybe research development. That's cooler, you know. Then I get research sectors upgrade. +1 level to all research sectors. Raising the sector level for sector will increase the benefits from sector split. So by comparison, this should give me +1. Yeah, +1 to food sectors. Um, Society Investment Center. Investing research into society progression will allow quicker access to exploitations of the land, leading to long-term economic advantages over the factions, as well as faster access to advanced governmental doctrines and espionage opportunities. Higher levels, we can increase the general output of all science workers. Okay, +10%, 15% society research exploitation sector. I see. Research military innovation allows the unlocking of units. Yeah, so basically it's more advantageous for me to do this, since the map is just so short. Superfoods that have beneficial effect on colony biology and the growth rate of the colony. At higher levels, your colonies will need less fruits. Bioengineered food plantation. They never really talk about. It would be so freaking cool, you know, to actually um, see that the contrast between these things, like traditional community cultivation techniques, like they become environmentally aware. They produce a little less than these superfoods, but they actually give you more for the for what you're doing, you know. Because we have studies in these areas that actually mention how the food quality uh, actually increases, and how crops are actually somehow more nutritious and stuff like that. But yeah, the crops that are that won't use, for example, pesticides or new techniques, they are uglier than those they use. That's kind of like objective, you know. it's kind of like a problem. We work with traditional communities around here, and they actually complain a lot that their products won't sell as much because because they are hard to transport. There's a logistical problem, tremendous logistical problem, and if that's not enough, their crops, they don't look good. You get any crops, any of these high-tech crops from agricultural engineering or something like that, and you actually get they are actually a lot prettier to look at. People actually end up preferring them without understanding what they are purchasing. So anyway, see, this is the thing that I love about sci-fi books and sci-fi games. Actually discuss the consequences and discuss what goes on and what we envision for the future, be it good or not. It's fantastic. I love this. Created sector base for Quentin.
Sector annexed.
I changed the model. They actually mention in the art book for the game that they built these modular pieces for the building. So you can see that they attached the new thing in here, but the hexagon is kind of like the same. This is a very interesting idea. So they actually plug things around. It's nice to see it working. Very cool. End the turn.
Objective completed.
So we expanded the colony and external sector, exploit province sector, take reward. Give me the energy. Produce agriculture
Production
exploitation.
ready.
So by the time we actually finish researching that, it's gonna be one more level in there. Okay. So I love the symbols here as well. As a semiotician, these things actually catch my attention a lot. Images, the way they build stuff, colors they use. The colors actually, Leonard Sass actually mentioned that as far as colors go, he actually got inspiration from Age of Wonders and from filmography from the 70s and 80s, like having that idea of colorful, very expressive environments for your sci-fi adventure, like in a soap opera or something like that. Very interesting, very cool. Okay, let's see. Let's try to standard military infrastructure. Let's build more stuff here. Recreational dome. How's it happiness +7? Skirmisher barracks. I can build bikes if I do this. In specialist training center, I can build a Vanguard Pug. I want to test this thing, so let's produce this thing. I don't know if I'm gonna have the time to produce these bad boys, but worth a try. Because I think it's gonna end now, but okay, move forward. Mava, factions with a claim to the sector, Jack Gelder. Found Vanguard. See the distance for claims. Is it the same in the OW4? Multiple claims. Casus Belli points against invader. Is ignore those sentiments. Doesn't say anything about. Yeah, it's just the adjacent ones. In AOW4 you can have like distant claims, like 3 tiles away from your city. But and then you're still gonna get some attrition in there, and might give cause to a war in there, but it's a lot smaller than when it's adjacent to a city if you colonize that. Okay, so let's attack.
Engaging an army in combat, all armies adjacent to the defending army that are allied to either the defending army or the attacking army are drawn into combat as well.
Probably could reposition these guys. They're gonna basically almost flank the troops. Okay, so let's go for manual combat and let's see what these beasts do. There's one that particularly worries me. That's the Eviscerator. The Eviscerator has a lovely description as far as this snippet goes, but and it shows how dangerous that thing is. And we also have these red hoppers here. They are more resistant than the green ones. So I actually have to be the Eviscerator actually jumps and has a very powerful attack, and it causes bleeding. So let me see the distance that it's. Okay, I actually should probably move these guys as far forward as I could and have them on. Have them here, like and this little Joker's probably gonna move the less useful troops. It's gonna be, if it's smart, it's gonna move like these guys to the front, and then enter the Overwatch area and move through the Overwatch area with this guy here. Probably jumping, by the way, because I think it's within reach. You know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It has. Let's see. No. That's not what I want. That guy. Slashing. Yeah, he can also slash tons of people at the same time. Combat jump. That's 3. So it's gonna have to move. Good. There's one more thing you can do. Invigorates stridulation. Rubbing limbs together. Yeah. So finally, it's actually the beginning of interesting combat here. Just a second. I have someone here that's kind of beating my headset. My baby's kind of trying to dent my headset here with its beak. Okay, sorry. Okay. How far? 3 as well. All 3. Okay, so I can actually move these guys into the area. I'm gonna put you here. It's very risky, but alright. I actually need someone that has Overwatch in there. I'm gonna move my bike in front of this guy, I think. Because the bike is still gonna have some shooting. I could just defend here, instead of a... The bike is not gonna... It's just gonna stop the guy, the enemy from coming here. It's not gonna protect me, really. Because it's not large enough to become an obstacle, but fine. Okay, let me move you now. My hero. Alright, so everyone in this line is gonna Overwatch, okay? So, you're gonna Overwatch to the front. You're gonna Overwatch to the front of yourself, like here. You're gonna Overwatch as well, like getting all the bulk here. You're gonna Overwatch around here, so this guy doesn't run around and flees the course. And you can shoot. Wow, you can shoot for a good deal of damage there. I could just try to explode the piglets there. The beetle piglets. Where's the... I don't see where's Young. Where's Young is. Is Young on the map? Or didn't she enter yet? I can see her. Okay. Anyway. So should I shoot? Wide field laser array. What does it do? Oh, the wide field is just in front of him. Well, I think... Oh. Yeah, let's defend. Okay, then Overwatch, 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 Overwatch. Okay, it's not moving the others. I'm overwatching and overwatching the same guy. Honey. Oh, I had... Didn't I put... yeah, I had put these guys on Overwatch, actually, and plugged the Overwatch. Jesus, sorry. Talk about intentional gameplay. How far can you shoot? 9. Okay. So I can actually move you, because you won't be able to reach these guys now. I can actually move you and reposition you somewhere you can actually shoot. But first, let me move these guys. Alright, so... I'm gonna move them to this position here. They are not gonna come to the side, you know? I don't think so, at least. But it would be nice if I could split these troops. How... Okay, I need one action to toss down the... I think I'm gonna send the engineer forward. Let's see. And I'm gonna put... Yeah, it has to put these things... So I'm gonna put it here. It's gonna catch the eye. It's gonna catch their eye, you know, it's gonna catch their attention. I'll bet. I can move this guy around here. And this fella. Okay, let me move her first now. Because I want to position her right here. You know? Since she has a remarkable reach. Let me see, the Overwatch, does the Overwatch has a reach? I don't know. But she can't Overwatch right now. She already moved too far. Fine. Alright. Now. Overwatch. You're gonna Overwatch this area. As for you, same old, you're gonna... You, too. And you. You can't Overwatch, so you will defend. And you're gonna Overwatch here. And you. Can you shoot already? Let's see. Yeah, you can shoot. You use the twin guns against this guy here. So let's provoke him. Even if we graze, let's bring him around. If he enters our Overwatch area, he's dead. Yeah. Keep at it, boys. Because he's gonna attack. He's gonna come at us.
Units
Oh,
with
yeah.
melee attacks will enter melee Overwatch at the end of their turn, denoted by a red sword icon above their heads.
Now imagine this, they actually see this beast and you know what it can do. So they just open fire on this creature as it moves through the battlefield and it doesn't fall. It just keeps coming.
A unit has been staggered, causing it to lose an action point. Most melee attacks and explosives will stagger units.
Do you see the size of that bite, man? Wow!
A unit attacked from the sides or back is considered flanked and takes increased damage. Units in guard mode cannot be flanked.
This is so cool. They actually sent my soldiers flying back. That's awesome. You see, they actually came to the front. That's interesting. And they delivered some pretty nasty damage, man.
After the first round of combat, tactical operations can be launched by both sides. Tactical operations can be accessed using the operations interface button in the bottom right of the screen.
This is such a cool battle. Okay. Let's see what operations do we have here. We have nanite support station, drops a nanite support station on the battlefield. Blur field, which gives obscure to all adjacent units. Okay. Can cure them as well. Combat assist system. Shredder bomb. And the laser strike. Well, let me see. They do have, if I recall correctly, they do have some sort of resistance. Yeah, they have status effect resistance 2. But I could just use the laser. I'm gonna use the laser strike. But laser strike is just one. Yeah, I can't use this as well. I could just bring down. Yeah, I could just bring this guy about. Basically, kill this guy with this, and that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna laser this guy down.
Enemy eliminated.
Yeah. The worst of them is down. Now I have to finish the others. Yeah, you did bad. You missed a lot. Trying to save my troops here. Yeah, the bike took some damage there as well. There.
Enemy killed.
We have 71% chance. Let's go. In my imagination, this is just such a cool battle, man. Yeah, it is cool in front of me here, but I
Enemy
keep
killed.
imagining these things just leaping inside, and these guys just fighting like crazy. You know, soldiers flying back, people bleeding, just bleeding like crazy. I can't, I can't really move my bike now, but it's just that I actually want to give. Well, he's not gonna die really, so yeah, he's grazed. He's gonna deliver some nasty damage. I might lose my units. It's out of range, so just Overwatch. It was very intelligent what he did. What he did. I like it. I liked it a lot. So I can move my troops forward now. Uh, do I have anyone that can? You can't actually target him at this distance, so I can move you into cover here. And I need to, how far do I need to go to? 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, you can shoot from here, so I'm gonna move you here. At least I can get one shot. He's gonna explode, he's gonna damage my bike, I know that. But okay. I think you can shoot as well. Yeah.
Enemy down. Our forces are victorious.
Yeah, damaged the bike. But it worked. I wonder if there is another way for me to do this more efficient, but I'm not gonna do this now. I love the battle the way that it played out, and it's not gonna make any difference in this map. Thank you, Commander. You got us out of a tight spot there. Don't mention it, Lieutenant. Status report. What happened here? Force of Outlanders made Planetfall a few cycles ago and assaulted our positions. Their assault was centered on the Void Tech facility nearby. We fought them off, but we suffered heavy casualties. Any survivors? None on their side, but our colony was burned to the ground during the assault. We were looking at all that remains of my detachment and the colony. What a mess. I'm sorry about your casualties, Lieutenant. What about this Void Tech facility? Why were they after it? I don't know, Commander. All of the scientists who knew of the facility perished in the assault. With our colony destroyed, we were unable to annex the landmark to investigate it further. Oh, I think we're still gonna go to the research center. All right, let's get things back on track. I'll take command here. Pack up your settlement so we can redeploy and set up a proper colony. Lieutenant Young, lead the way to the Void Tech facility. Knowledge, Commander.
Objective completed.
All right, cool. Now that I have a new colonizer unit, you can found second colony. The domain is planet. Increase your income and economic growth. You can found a colony by moving colonizer to the center of sector. Found the Vanguard colony button in the sector's interface menu. Sorry. Colony cannot be placed in a sector adjacent to an existing colony. Found new colony in Meva sector. This music is just so 80s sci-fi, man. I love it. Alright. So now we have a colonizer unit. And it looks awesome as well. Look at this. I'm gonna pop in the texture there. What's that, 03 or 02? It's a 03 in little. Smudged. Also like how they show how the units are banged, you know, they feel real. It's like when you get Dawn of War 3, for example, everything is just so shiny and new. People got so mad because of that. And it's kind of weird, really, because it's basically rusty and rugged and battered. And that's what makes the difference for it, really. From the ashes of the Star Union, a new age will dawn. The fallen empire hides powerful secrets yet to be found, race in earnest to revive the powers hidden in our past. The colonizer is the first step towards the revival. The nurturing of colonies and development of society is of delicate importance, more so for a foreign and unfamiliar planet with dangers unknown. The cosmic dark age is over, and the legendary remnants of the empire lay dormant, waiting to be rediscovered. Universal coincidental history. 43678. Okay. Psychic resistance, stagger resistance, arc weakness, colonizer. It found colonies, cost 100 energy and 10 core, and 10 cosmites. Large target. Okay. Yeah, it's vulnerable. Has the advantages of a big mass unit, but it's vulnerable. Okay. So where should I found this colony really? That's an important question. It wants me to found it in Mava, really. Okay. It's fine by me. Alright. Turn.
Objective.
Terrorbearer. Found a new colony. Mava sector. Fine. Terrorbearer. It's the same format, same shape that my other city holds. Yeah, fine. Okay. And we have the exodimensional observatory observation complex under our... Oh, cool. It's kind of like the still image for the void tech. Neat. Okay, let me just move this guy here. So I actually need to cure my warning incoming gravitronic wave in 2.26 seconds. Gravitronic wave? What? Okay. What the hell was that? A gravitronic wave passed through the system, origin unknown. It looks like we're all still holding on our atoms. Status report. Preliminary readings indicate that the void anomaly absorbed most of the gravitronic force, keeping the planet relatively unaffected. For further analysis, I will need to connect the void to the void tech facility. It contains advanced sensors that are attuned to the void anomaly. Okay. Alright, we'll move in and get you hooked up on the void tech facility ASAP. Yeah, but I need my troops to heal first, you know? I have 2 units that are banged up. I really would rather not lose these guys in the middle of the battle. I don't remember. There are signs of battle all over the structure. Lieutenant Young, the facility is so operational. The damage you see on the structure is all superficial. All of the heavy fighting occurred on the outskirts. Ava, can you access the facility and use its sensors to see what's happening with the void anomaly? Access to the facility is encrypted, Commander. Establishing a connection will require the void tech facility to be annexed to a colony so that I can link directly to their mainframe. So this is why they actually asked Mava. We don't have time to lose. We've founded a new colony nearby that we can annex and landmark Sector 2. Well, I would anyway. Even if I didn't found a city here, I would choose to employ one of the side provinces. Let me just check. So mountain fungo. Yeah, yeah. There's more production here, I guess, because the mountain. Yeah, more production in energy. Outside of that. Alright. Lots of solar panels around the city. Set production turbo. Okay, turbo, you can produce owls. Cool. Core, laser repeater, targeting field mechanical light unit.
The Colonist tab lists details of the colony's growth and happiness. The colony's output can be fine-tuned by assigning colonists to resource slots.
Okay. Yeah, I could build buildings here, but I don't think I'm gonna use them too much. Military strength, military repair defense third. I think I'm gonna go for. Could put biofarms or replicators to speed up construction. I think a replicator would be nice to begin with. I don't even think I'm gonna be able to enjoy this, but I'm not gonna wait 2 turns for the beast to be ready. I'm just gonna go for it. You know. Oh, I have another biodome inside my. Oh yeah, I see now. Because I actually decided to exploit this as a farm province, a farming province. It has placed a biodome in there. Now I have plus 51. I have all the advantages. I actually could queue one thing. I want to see what happens. Dismantle. Oh, it just lets me dismantle. I want to put more in there. I want to. Oh, I need probably need more growth to actually explore that. Release sectors, forward base, detaching it from your colony. Oh, I see. I can actually expand the claims that I have. Okay. Gotta keep that in mind. Did you heal these guys? Almost. Oh, it's gonna take a lot of time. I'm gonna go frontal attack with this girl now. Phase manipulation.
There is no obstacle I cannot pass through with my harmonic phase modulator. Matter doesn't matter. Who would suppose that substance is merely two waveforms in alignment? Tech Oilar, Void Tech Line Patrol.
There's something called Void Tech Lion Patrol. I want to know more about it. Alright, let's enter this place.
Landmarks are remnants of powerful star union structures. There are 3 kinds of landmarks: bronze, silver, and gold, with increasing economic value.
An inherent exploitation. Gold and silver landmarks automatically counting as level 5 sector landmarks and special doctrines. And silver mine, okay. Step into the future, the past and the present all at once, exceeding limitations of space-time. Void Tech slogan, tier 8 funding promo. That's so cool, you know, it's kind of like she's actually approaching this place and looking at the propaganda that's in there. Fungal Void Tech complex, okay. Unlocks. Access Void Tech archives. Complex treasure trove, valuable data by dedicated researchers delving in archives. Or Void Tech research will benefit greatly. Void Tech is 25% cheaper to research, and Void Tech units cost 20% less to produce. Okay. Now I own it. So basically what I should do is, I just need this city to grow enough so I can annex the other one. That's it. Basically that's it, and I get to explore the map. I don't really remember much about the game because it's just so long that I played. But I do remember that I loved it. And to be quite honest, I'm having fun, you know. Quite a lot, by the way. I remembered also that I have explored the entirety of the map. And it's really, really small, and there's nothing else to do in the map. So, yeah. I don't even think I should, let me... Since that's the case... Oh no, that's one level already. I actually should put Tiraber to focus on growth, you know. Put everyone in there. It's gonna grow in 1 turn, and I get to annex that. And as far as construction goes, I can't really do much now. Okay. Military research. Echo Walker. Oh, this is a special unit for Void. Vanguard Skirmisher. Void Blades. I always wanted to see a Void Walker. Last time I played and I didn't really use him. I'm gonna go for this. What else? Void Blades. Yeah, the weapon Void Blades. Looks cool. Research. It's actually a melee character? Huh. Set, I think it is. Actually didn't read the description. I'm gonna go back there and read. So set production Quentin. You can produce a Vanguard or a Pug. Okay, give me a Pug. kind of wanted to see how the puck goes, so let's see here. Void blades, repeating. So melee attack with dimensional blades, yes. High impact stagger units, reducing action points and canceling defense modes. Bypass all, dimension stability 4 strength, dimension stability until the end of the combat. This unit is considered a void tech unit and is protected from offensive void tech operations and abilities. Cool. Alright. What else do we have here? Localized void rift. Reducing damage by 2, increasing morale by 300. Wow! They are demoralized instead, reducing morale by 300. Okay. Void barriers. Enemy units within the affected friendly colony domain have to use 4 extra move points for every X. Every 2 turns have a 4 strength chance to gain slow, 2 turns when fighting this domain. Wow. Then vortex instability. The unit's attacks gain 8 strength and 4 chance for repeating attacks to apply dimensional instability. So basically, you fight, you actually get more, you demoralize and impair movement with these kinds of things. That's interesting. Vortex charge, dealing 16 damage on non-void tech units. Basically, you're bending space and time to screw people around. Dimension stability. Okay. On a hex radius area. Friendly units gain fast movement, enemy units inflicted slow movement. Yeah, basically that's it. Dimensional stability. Let me just see what dimensional stability does. Oops. Typos. What did I put wrong? Did I... Oh, put one more ammo where I shouldn't have. Let's... Ow, come on, there's an extra B. Okay, 1 unit. Ability type debuff, -2 resistance. Then you have, okay, oh, so you have 4 levels. Then you have second level. This unit is no longer solidly connected to this dimension. Wow! They lose 1 level of stagger resistance. This unit is losing its grip on this dimension, reducing the damage its attacks deal by 20%. And this unit's very existence is unstable. At the start of their turn, they randomly teleport up to 2 hexes away from their original position. Wow, okay. That's interesting. Fine. That does a slow movement or fast movement. Also has tier slow movement. Okay, what did I do wrong now? No, that's correct, isn't it? Or oh yeah, doesn't appear anything. Okay. Anyway, what do we have here? Fungo Baron, Rotting Wilderness. Basically, this planet is kind of homogeneous in the sense. Okay, now I can annex this. Then it marks an advanced energy sector and gives following plus 40 energy, plus 4 energy per pop. Is that it? And plus 20 plus 2 production per pop. Following rift generator. Child landmark. Void tech rift generator that can be used to add special rift shields to all units produced in this colony. Oh, cool. All units produced in this colony have +1 shields per tier of the unit. In addition, all void tech units produced in this colony do plus 10% damage. So wow, that's an interesting advantage. Only be used by Void Tech commanders, okay. So annex it. Let's see, how do you annex this thing? I want to see if you're gonna build up on it. Alright, interesting. Food development.
Food is a governing tool. Just as fuel is essential to power a machine, food is the ruling principle of happy, strong, and productive colonists. Tony Rubio Strong, Manpower and Machine Motivational Consulting.
Alright. Love the drawings as well here. Let's go for new research then. So I could go in third for environmental conditioning. Hazard removal unlocks the ability to remove hazards from the world map using special operations. This is interesting. There's no hazard here. River exploitation. Colonies with a river going through their domain generate 10 food income. And botanical gardens. Colony gains 2 happiness slots and plus 6 happiness income. I don't think that's going to be very useful here. The map is about to end anyway. Now I think it's really about to end anyway. I also want to take a look at the operations next. I want to see how the spy ops that go in this game. I love spy mechanics in any game, any strategy game that I play. Casus belly justify on war against this player. Yeah, and this shows the dark side of the Vanguard. I knew they wouldn't be so clean, you know, from target play. This is actually a very interesting portrayal of big stick democracies and authoritarianism in contemporary politics, you know, international politics. I think it actually portrays the way they write. It actually portrays it in quite interesting ways, you know, in a quite interesting fashion, in a sense. In all areas of the world map. 3 operational strength, 3 operational defense. Okay. This should be fun, man, to use. Attempt to disrupt and shut down an enemy operation. Success is determined by operation strength versus enemy operation defense. Currently affecting you. This will also raise your alert level by 2. Ah. And secret state. They're populous in territories. Yeah, this is really this is really Cold War thing. Espionage. Man, I really want to try this line in the future. Colony infrastructure. Cosmite Research Center. Oh, this is useful. Building move as well. Dedicated to research and diplomatic interactions. Okay. I'm gonna put this one. Can I? Yeah, that's one of the points of the test. I want to see if I can reach tier 3 just beehiving here if you have to research tons of things more. Ops ready to prime. Let's see.
Operations available for priming.
Access Void Tech Archives. By dedicating researchers still in the archives, our Void Tech researcher benefits greatly. Void Tech is 25% cheaper to research. Void Tech units cost 20% less to produce. Okay. It's gonna take one turn. Prime this. Basically, that's it, you know. The game actually, this is really, it's a really good tutorial mission. I'm actually enthusiastic about this, in a sense, you know. I'm playing, and I actually think this has plenty of role-playing capabilities, you know. I'm gonna have these guys go too far because, okay, set production toolbar. No sectors annexed. Can I annex anything? Oh, I think I already did this. Yeah. So no way. Recreational dome. I'm gonna put a recreational dome here. Quentin can annex another one. Sector can be developed for give colony grant boosts. Okay. So I can have this fungal baron. Can I can only annex this one? Yeah, it has mountains. I could. No, I can annex this one as well. A mountain and fungal. I think I'm gonna annex the north one. I thought I couldn't. I can't. This one I can't. Uninhabitable. That's why I can't. I can't do this. Can I do this here? Coast. See. Coastal sectors. Coastal sectors are sectors of ocean that are bordered by landmass. Due to their proximity to land, coastal sectors are more easily exploited. Energy, food, and knowledge. Oh, but I need aquatic development. I'm gonna go here. No, here. Kind of want to see what will the map reveal next. There you go. And then turn. Okay. Establishing database connection. Connection to Void Tech Facility database established. Running analysis of Void anomaly. Report. What are your findings? The Void anomaly has started to expand exponentially. There is a 99.07% chance that the planet will be consumed by the anomaly within the next 3 cycles. Should leave, Commander. Duh. Back up all data from the facility and get everyone evacuated. There's no time to waste. Backup status complete. Planetary escape vectors calculated. Caution. Due to void disturbance, there is a 33.1% chance of catastrophic failure during gravity well escape. Safety margins are to be overridden before a course can be locked in. The hell with safety margins. There's a 100% chance we'll die if we stay. Lock in escape vectors and get us out of this hellhole. I find him kind of like Captain Kirk, you know, like sort of daring. Okay. Easiest victory ever, I guess. So, yeah, we have the stats. It was 8 turns. Yeah, it actually took me nearly 2 hours to play 8 turns. But I find that that I actually want to get immersed, you know, so that's the point. Let's see this. I want to check every detail in this game. I want to, you know, study the game. Doctrine enacted, access Void Tech Archives, Quinton, story message. So basically this is the order of messages. Aya Sashimoto has been defeated. Who the hell was Aya Sashimoto? We actually have to have 2 players, so that the hidden player was Aya Sashimoto. I never really realized that. Story message, search survivors, story message, establish colony. So basically you enter and the guy is defeated automatically. Story message. So tons of story message from Ava, Hopper on troubles, then the quests and everything in order. Total capability, total score. Yeah. Total might. Yeah, remember still. Total unity. Total development. Okay. So that's it. Neat. Okay. Continue the campaign.
We barely escaped the surface of the planet before the void anomaly consumed it. We're lucky to have gotten the colonists out alive. These last few days have left me filled with more questions than answers. What happened on the surface here? What was that gravitronic wave that ripped through this star cluster? Well, it looks like we'll have plenty of time to sleep on this. The gravitronic force destabilized the void rift in this system, making faster than light travel impossible. We have to get home the old-fashioned way. It'll take us close to 200 years to reach the nearest Star Union hub. I've ordered everyone to prepare for cryosleep. We will see what kind of world we wake up to.
So that's it. They know that like 200 years is a lot of time to remain in cryosleep, and some of them might have gone through that, and I don't think that this guy is unfamiliar with the notion, you know. I don't think that Gelder is unfamiliar with the notion the way he speaks. So I think that anyone can understand that in 200 years, politics, uh, natural conditions, factions, economics, everything might influence and turn the tides in this favor of the Star Union, for example. So I think honestly, I think that Vanguard would kind of understand that the Star Union was going to break apart at some point. He knows about destabilization. I mean, in the art book, you actually get that they actually explain that these vectors and the rifts were destabilized. Sorry, not the vectors, but the void rifts were actually destabilized because they started using G bombs to create new rifts. And every time they used one, the entire rift scheme turned around. Long term, basically. So they tried to control it with precise G bomb explosions, but they couldn't. So the whole system started to break apart. So probably they understood that certain planets would be isolated for centuries, and that they wouldn't be able to return for centuries. Uh, so I think that when you reach that point in the story of the Star Union, if you made contact with that reality, it's not gonna last. It's gonna at some point in time you're gonna go back to a planet that got raised, destroyed by war, or that became independent, or that had to survive on its own account, or that because it became stranded, it actually created a different sort of culture. It actually created different sorts of uh, um, behavior or mutations even. I don't know. So that's interesting though. Food for the brain. Food for thoughts. Recommend playing a practice world planet before continuing with the campaign. Your progress has automatically been saved, and you can always continue your campaign from the point by loading the last campaign saved. Okay, I'm gonna save the game anyway because I have like a billion games. I actually restarted it before. I'll just go back for a second. Well, let me see if I can just continue and go back into Gelder. Yeah, I can. Let me just save this to ensure that I have... Okay, now I feel safer now because I have an actual save file that I can reload. But I'm gonna follow the suggestion, the recommendation for the game, and I'm gonna play a few. I'm gonna play at least one match, one free match to train a little bit. But I'm really enthusiastic about the story. I never really played the campaign. I played maps, basically. I played loose maps and tried to tweak around the Stellar Empire building thing. So this is why I'm just hopping around with this. But this one I'm gonna close now because it's nearly 2 hours just to play the tutorial and mess around and talk about some notions. I'm gonna upload this video right away, and then I'm gonna come back with new videos and probably playing some loose form campaigns. And soon enough, I'm gonna come back with AOW4 as well. So if you're watching this, thank you for being here, and I'll see you when I see you.